Okay, it's the next day. I had a problem because I didn't have the right size socket for that, and the camera went flat, and then I've got the right size socket, and I thought I'll try it, and I've undone it all without filming it, so you didn't see that, but I'll show you what I've got. So last week we took a Flexofold propeller off of our Hansa 291 Seahorse. Well, actually, last week I went sailing in the Wilsonians Sailing Club New Year's Day race in an Alto dinghy. But if you're watching this, you're probably not so interested in that. So this week it's a continuation of the work on the Seahorse with an update on where we got to so far. But I've got one now. That went in there, and you undo that big nut, and then this just slides off. Right, so I've just left the boat and I'm off to buy some wood for something else, but we're getting somewhere. I'll show you the film I've just made, and we'll catch up in a minute. So this is what it looks like. Don't know where it's going to come out in the camera. I finished the last bit of the varnishing, and it was this lot all around the engine. Actually hasn't come out quite as well as I wanted, because the very last coat I used a second-hand roller as such. I find if I wrap it tightly in a plastic bag, I can leave it for a night and come back the next day and it's fine. But I left it for 2 nights, and I think it had got a bit stodgy where it had started to go off. And being a cheapskate, well, actually it was a bit more than that. It was the last roller I had, and I wanted to get one more coat on. Wasn't this bit actually? It was the step on top and the surround. But anyway, I put it on, and it, of course, as is the way, not quite as nice as I'd have liked, but it's a step you're not going to notice, and actually it's not bad. Right, I've moved the steps because the other things I've done is, although it doesn't look it at the moment because there's cables everywhere, I sorted out the wiring that went into the back of this box, which is our kind of consumer unit, if you like, inside with some trips on it and that, and where our mains outlet comes out of. Sorted out the wiring on that as part of sorting out the electrics, because the other thing I've done, if I move the camera around, is I've moved the isolator switches to there. There's a panel that just slides out here, so we can get to the isolator a lot easier. They used to be down inside this hole, which you're not going to see, but underneath there. The engine battery goes here, and that's the charger and that for the engine battery. So you used to have to lift this panel up to get to it, and then reach down underneath there to get the isolators, which actually didn't work too badly if you never had anything in that area. But as soon as, and of course what we do when we're sailing and what we use, we don't put the cushion in this area, we use this as our dumping ground. So the day bags, coats, everything else gets dumped there. When we're on holiday, all the sort of clothes bags, all the things that you haven't really got space for get stuffed up there. So actually it's really inconvenient reaching down underneath there. So we're reusing this panel here that's meant to slide in and out, and I've moved the isolators, and I think it's all going to work okay. Obviously it meant rerouting all the cabling, and I've just got to finish some of that off. I'll put the engine battery in, and it'll be done. So I did that, and then the other thing I've been doing, if you take a look at that engine bay, there'll be a bit of a before and after, because I bought some soundproofing. And the first thing I've done is the back of the engine bay steps. It's come out really good. I can't remember the name of the company I bought the stuff from, but it's fairly unique in as much as it's lead. It's the lead stuff, which is, it's a sort of a sandwich construction. So starting from the outside, there's a foam foil area to reflect the heat and so forth. Then there's a layer of foam. Then there's a thin layer of lead, and it's the lead that does the soundproofing. The foam on the outside is just there to collect any sound that rebounds. So, and then underneath that layer of lead, there's another layer of foam, which of course effectively then insulates the lead from your box or whatever you've got around it. And then there's a self-adhesive sticky backing to it. So you effectively cut it to shape, peel off the sticky backing, stick it on. And I bought this one because, unlike just about everything else I could find on the market, this is only 15mm thick, just over ½ an inch. Very thin, and I don't know how good it's going to be as a sound insulator, but practical boat owner did a test on various soundproofing materials a while ago now, and this came out not the best, but it came out as very good, nearly as good as the best, but of course it's like less than half the thickness. And if I just go back to this, as you can see, like around here, my oil filter is down there. That up there is my fuel filter. There's my oil dipstick. All down that side, where all the important thing is, this is the throttle linkage. There's just no room. So if I put, you know, an 1.5 inch bit of foam insulation there, I wouldn't get to it. I might just about get away with a 15mm. So that was part of the reason for sorting this out, is because then once I've got this away and I've worked out where it all goes, I can put my insulating material down there, then refit it all. But I've got high hopes for it. Like I say, I don't know how good it's going to be, and we'll let you know when we get the boat back in the water. But what I do know is it's going to be better than it was, and it wasn't bad. It's a very good engine. It's a Volvo, it's a 2-cylinder 10 horsepower Volvo, and it's a really sweet little engine. It's got it's not got a prop shaft on it. It's got a stern drive on it, so there's no vibration. It's really sweet, but it is a diesel engine and it makes a bit of a noise. So as long as I can do something to help dampen some of that noise out, I think it'll help. So like I say, I've no idea how good it is, but it is going to be better than what we've got, which is like nothing. And it is going to fit. It's not cheap. I bought 2 meters by 1 meter effectively, and it was like £140 plus the VAT or plus delivery, so it came to 150 quid. So it's a lot of money for a bit of foam, you know, double-sided foam kind of thing. But I think I've got high hopes. It does weigh a lot. I am slowing the boat up, but yeah, if it makes it more comfortable, it's worth it. And in the scheme of things, it's not really going to matter. So that's the next job. Now I've got the electric sorted, I can sound insulate the engine. So yeah, as you can see, we're making progress. Don't know how many of you can remember the list, but we are actually now ticking things off the list, which is good. The next big job is to sort out the ceiling, the headlining, which I want to do. I might put the old panels up, although I'm keen to replace them, but the real reason for doing it is to sort out the lighting. As it was, the boat just had 2 main lights on the main bulkhead at the front, the panel that we had the hole in that we had to fix in an earlier film. So, and though those lights were adequate, it's only a small boat, we'd like to replace them. We bought some downlighters from eBay, very narrow ones, only like 10mm high, which I think I showed you in the previous film. I want to install them to provide some downlight. I've got 2 more sort of reading lights to go back on the bulkhead where we had the original lights, and I might move the original lights back up to the rear of the boat where the companionway is, to light up the galley area and the instrument area, but we might not do that. We'll see. And then the other thing is, we might get clever with the roof lining and leave one of them down slightly so we can hide some kind of recessed LED strip lights along inside, just for a bit of bling and a bit of different ambience. Might not yet. What I want to do is kind of mock all this up first before I start cutting holes, just to see what effect we got and how much light we got. Fortunately, because we're doing this in the winter, if nothing else, although it's a lovely sunny day today, we have plenty of darkness to test these things in, so I'll probably be fixing it up in the dark, so at least I'll be able to see how effective it all is. So yeah, anyway, so that's the next big plan, although before I do that, I've got to finish that sand insulation. So one thing that's occurred to me while I'm talking here, I showed you the left hand side as you looked at the engine, where the electrical panel was, and that's going to be fairly straightforward to put the insulation on. And I can do the roof, and I can do round the back. I've got to box it in a bit around the stern drive. But the right hand side as you look at the engine, so port side of the boat, the sink half intrudes in the engine bay. So I've got to decide what I'm going to do with that. I either need to box that in somehow, although it won't be very easy to get to because there's an engine in the way, or I could just stick the sound insulation to the sink, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, if you've got any ideas on that, let me know. If you've any experience of a sink in an engine bay, how much sound does come through it? Is it going to be worth the effort of boxing it in, or is the sound insulation going to be fine just stuck to it? I'd like to know your thoughts. So anyway, yeah, so I've got to finish that off and then make a start on this headline. Anyway, I'm nearly at the place I want to get this bit of timber, so I better go. I'm Ian, and this has been Sailing with the Foxwell family. Thanks for watching, and please, if you've got any ideas on things we're doing or any suggestions, please leave a comment. Many of you have been leaving comments on a lot of the things we've done so far, and it's really good, it's really helpful. And even if I choose to ignore what you suggest, that's not because it hasn't been considered. It's all valuable information. And even again, if I don't go up on it, someone else watching this might read it and think that's a good idea. I'll do that. So please, feel free to leave comments. It's good. And apparently, Elizabeth tells me I've got to ask you all to like the film if you like it, because YouTube likes people that like things, or at least everyone else seems to ask for it. So anyway, I'm here now. I've got to go. Things to do. Cheers. See you later.